Hey there, Spyral Gang! Big news! Konami decided to, out of nowhere, unban Knightmare Goblin and Knightmare Mermaid, something people thought they would probably never do. They still haven't done it in the actual card game, but here on Master Duel, we play by different rules. So, what does this mean for Spyral? Well, this is what it means. Yep. So, bear with me. I know that seems kind of underwhelming, but let me explain to you why this is the case. Knightmare Goblin actually is a pretty powerful card. The ability to always have a extra normal summon kind of stashed away in your extra deck is super powerful. It's kind of like how Lavalval Chain is worth a ban, even though Foolish Burial and Foolish Burial goods are legal. It does the same thing, but being generically accessible out of the extra deck means you can build your deck around it and make it more powerful. The downside is that Goblin kind of already has cards competing for what it does effect-wise. For instance, you might remember Ancient Fairy Dragon got errated and unbanned not too long ago, and it's still preposterously powerful. So powerful that we've been abusing it ever since it came out because it can search Spyral Resort, and it can search super powerful Floodgates, and it can special summon Quick Fix from your hand after searching Spyral Resort, which is full combo, the same way like an extra normal summon would turn Quick Fix into full combo, right? Summon Quick Fix. If you have an extra, if you still have a normal left, you normal drone, go into Helix, go into Mash Plan, you're comboing, right? So Ancient Fairy Dragon already kind of did that. And if you're trying to do something busted, like get an extra normal summon to summon a monster you couldn't otherwise summon because you've used your normal summon in your combo, well, we already had Saryuja for that, right? You've seen me use Saryuja before. Did it to like special summon the world and other like stupid bongo super instant win combos. Saryuja kind of already filled in that niche as like a 3 material creature, and I mean, Nightmare Goblin is basically 3 materials, right? Because you have to have a Link monster already in the EMZ pointing down before you can make Goblin and actually get real value out of its effect. So, this is kind of already doing it. And also, as kind of like a pseudo-generic Link extender, that's what Selena's been for, right? I mean, we have so much spellcaster access in the deck, we kind of use Selene in a similar way. Like when we do a Snake Eye combo, we add Master Plan to our hand, and then summon her with Selene the same way you would kind of use Goblin to summon a card from your hand to go into a combo. So, all that said, is Goblin good? Yeah, I think it's good. The reason that you can cut Barricade Borg Blocker for it is Barricade Borg Blocker basically existed to fill in Goblin's niche as a generic Link 2 that you can get a free discard out of. Right? That's it. And Goblin does that. Now, there is a downside. Goblin doesn't have a down arrow, and Borg Blocker did, which might come up in certain scenarios, but I think this is going to come up more, and I'm actually going to change my deck a little bit to try it out. So as you can see, like I don't have Anima anymore because I want Link Reba to be able to point down for Nightmare Goblin shenanigans. So instead of Anima, I'm actually running the new Snake Eyes Dia Bellstar creature. You can scale this off of your Divine Temple setup, and then you summon it by scaling a different snake, and that gets you a spellcaster on the field, and that will make Selene instead. Admittedly, it is one more break, but the only thing, like, we already had to cut stuff for Gamma, so I just like threw in Cross Out, threw in Dia Bellstar. I think I kind of wear off down an Illusion of Chaos to kind of try it out, but you could add those cards back by cutting out Cross Out or Droplets or whatever, just whatever you want. So this is like the basic, this is the baseline for Goblin, right? This is the minimum Goblin does is give you a cool extender out of the extra deck you can replace Borg Blocker for. There's other things it can do though, and I want to show you one that I don't think is good, but I'm going to show it to you because why not, right? And that is Super Heavy Samurai. Now, when Super Heavy Samurai came out, a lot of people asked me, like, hey, Wakaushi is such a ridiculous combo starter and enabler. Can this card do Spyral combo? The answer was yes, but it was really bad. You had to, like, go through, like, that stupid Majesty Pendulum that searches a field spell. Yeah, this one that searches a field spell to go search Spyral Resort, and, like, it just wasn't good. You had to blow most of your extra deck setting it up, and then you only had enough room for, like, an Apo, a Helix, and maybe a Curious, and that just wasn't worth it. Nightmare Goblin, though, does allow you to do a combo, basically, off just Wakaushi effect. And I'm going to show that to you, and then we'll go over the pros and cons right afterwards. So let's show that off. Alright, so here we are back in solo mode against our favorite punching bag, the Monarch bot, and I'm just going to show you a one-card Wakaushi combo. Not technically one card, but close enough. So we're going to go ahead and use Super Heavy Samurai Motorbike and search Wakaushi. So one of the more awkward things about the Wakaushi stuff is like you can't have spells and traps in your graveyard. So we're gonna have to do something funny in a second, but you'll see. So you use Wakaushi, scale Benkei, summon Wakaushi, Benkei effect, add Piercer, equip Piercer, and then you make the Scarecrow in the right zone. This is important because your Goblin wants to go in the middle, and you're going to summon Goblin to the zone this guy points to. So you Soul Piercer. Soul Piercer will grab, I think we get this guy, yeah. What we're going to have to do is actually have monsters in hand, so I'm just going to do this real quick as kind of like a gimmick. You don't really want to discard your spells and traps because that turns off your super heavy samurai combo. If you have like a mission in hand and like spirals in hand, it actually doesn't matter because then you can banish the missions and summon them. And if you open Spyral Resort, you could just play Spyral Resort, search like Master Plan and discard that, or search Quick Fix and discard that, even though you're already going to have Quick Fix. I don't know. You can basically search a monster and then discard it, so it's not as big a deal. And now we're going to go ahead and activate this guy. Use this effect. Summon it over here. Doesn't really matter exactly. Then we're going to discard a monster. We'll summon this to the zone that it points to. And then we'll make Knightmare Goblin. And again, you still can't have any spells and traps in the graveyard unless it's a mission that you can banish. Or you want to chain block the Soul Piercer, that's a more important search. So you Knightmare Goblin, you'll discard a monster. And then Piercer will search this guy, which is super important because you need to get this guy out of your link zone because it cannot be used as link material. So you have to go through whatever this card's called, Soul Peacemaker. Really dumb name, but here we are. And then you, ta-da, you summon Scales. And then Scales will get back your level 4 that you put in the graveyard. Doesn't matter which one, because it's going to be on under Xyz material. And you make Gear Giga X. No normal summons used. We have searched Quick Fix by Gear Giga X. You will normal summon Quick Fix using your Knightmare Goblin. Activate, search drone. I didn't put Last Resort in the deck. Oh well. I'm supposed to have Last Resort in here, but it doesn't really matter. This is basically the full combo. And you can imagine, like, you could do basically any Spyral combo from this point. You can just summon Helix, obviously, to the left. You don't want to put anything in this zone for obvious reasons, because you gotta summon Helix to a point where he can point. But you would just summon Master Plan. And you'd probably just link Master Plan off for anything. It doesn't have to, doesn't really matter because you have enough Quick Fix discards that shouldn't be an issue. So one of the problems here is we don't really have like a great Selene access because we didn't put any spells in graveyard, and we only have one spell on the field thanks to the Super Heavy Samurai guy, obviously. So what you end up doing is like going into a Link 2 or whatever, it doesn't matter which one, just to get Master Plan off the field. Master Plan effect. You're going to search a Quick Fix. And it resorts. This is your second spell. You activate Quick Fix. And discard Quick Fix. This will get you Big Red. I've already got Big Red in hand, obviously, but you would still search Big Red here. And you would activate that. And this is your third spell for Master Plan. And that gets you to Selene. And actually, because we've already summoned Drone, you don't even really need a Assault Mission in this version of the combo. You do need a Assault Mission for if you just open Spyral stuff, so you still have to play it. It'd be nice if you could get rid of Assault Mission for that reason, but you kind of still have to play it. So yeah, we Selene. And this is functionally the combo. I'm not actually... I think I just run like an anti-spell fragrance build here, but... So in Master Plan, activate, get this mission, then you would Quick Fix, discard, At this point, I would search my last resort, but I forgot to add it to the deck because I wasn't worried about that. You make your Dullahan. Detach. As well weaken this guy because you're not using them. And you quick fix, discard your other rescue. And you go to Lake Hero. Before I Curious, obviously I'd want to search my Sleeper out of my deck. And you make Curious. Send whatever trap you want. And again, you could put any combo in this place where I'm doing the Nightmare, Griffin, Curious stuff. I just thought it was funny to use the Nightmare Griffin in a world where I don't have, where I'm using Knightmare Goblin. So you'd probably discard with Quick Fix. Again, one last time. I'm supposed to have Last Resort here, but at this point you just kind of build your board, right? You make Nightmare Griffin. Actually, I should have made Trigate Wizard first, because then I would draw a card here, but, you know. So, obviously, Trigate Wizard would have gone there perfectly. And you got all of your rescues. You actually don't go through any of your rescues in this combo, which is very funny. You could actually rescue earlier and just make Appaloosa. Might as well use Master Plan at this point to get my last Assault mission out. You actually, in this combo, you could just play Assault mission like on the field, which is funny. To, like pop stuff with Sleeper, draw a card. You know, this is just a very basic, obvious Spyral combo. Not much to it. But you get the idea, right? Like, Wakashi gets you to basically any Spyral combo you can fit in that extra deck. And you're good to go. So yeah, let's get... that's basically the one card combo Super Heavy Samurai, and now let's actually look at the deck and see the problems with it. Alright, so back with the deck. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet because, you know, who cares about all the yapping. I don't think this is a good build of Spyral in the abstract, at least not compared to like the Snake Eye version, which is a lot more robust. The main problem is, as you saw in that combo, like if you draw any spells and traps, you don't want to discard them, and that leads to like making the deck built like this, where you're not running any preparation of rides because you don't want to draw it because it turns off your Super Heavy Samurai stuff, and you end up like playing really thin setups like this. Also, you can't play Call by the Grave, or you can, but it would turn off your Super Heavy Samurai stuff. I don't know. The other kind of bigger glaring problem is, because we want our normal summon to be quick fix, we can't play the actual Super Heavy Samurai normal summon, which is like the wagon guy. This guy, we can't play this guy because this is our normal summon. We can't normal summon this guy like Super Heavy Samurai does. That means instead of having 9 good starters like Super Heavy does, plus like a little more because like they can normal summon Soul Piercer, we only have 6. We have the 3 Wakaushis and the 3 Searchers, Motorbike. So that's the big downsides. Upside, 6 one-card combos, pretty cool. And if you want to, you can kind of like trim a little room out of the extra deck and throw in an Excel Dragon Baron play. That's like a thing you've probably seen Super Heavy Samurai do, where you summon Excel Dragon with the Wakaushi because it's an 8. It's very easy to make. Then you like you have to throw in a Stardust Dragon and a Baron. You use this guy as your 2 plus this guy to make Stardust, and then those 2 make Baron. And you have an unaffected Baron, and then you can go into Spyral combo. That's like a fun thing you can do, but you probably can't pull it off in your regular combo, so I don't think it's very good. And it's probably just worse than playing neutral Super Heavy Samurai, which I generally would not suggest because they just hit Gamma to 1. So I just think this is not very good, but it is different, and you can have fun with it. You know, it's just something new. One fun interaction, though, is having these like extra pin scales is great for souls if you just want to draw cards. That happens sometimes when you're messing around with this. It's like, oh, I'll just draw 2 with my freaking souls, and it's +2. Anyhow, let's go to something I want to get into, which is what actually becomes good with Knightmare Goblin, right? I showed the Super Heavy Samurai. That's like a combo that I knew would work with an extra normal summon, now that we have it. But I think the version of the deck that becomes way better is a danger build, which I haven't actually built yet. So I'm going to do it right here on video for you. Just throw in all the good dangers. Maybe one Mothman. If you're running an danger build, you probably want to run Destrudo, Dragon Ravine stuff, because those two just pair very well together. And there's Ancient Fairy Dragon. And you'll probably run a Curious to set that up. This is me building a Spyral deck on the fly. Probably don't, and... You might actually probably going to run 3 of these, and you definitely run these guys. And you can probably get away with Small World because you're running a Dangerless, which is good. And that's basically it, right? Cross out... Oh, call by. There we go. Let's see. This is something. So this is like just a basic Spyral Danger list. Your payoff is obviously Secret Village plus a Tri-Gate setup. And the idea here is, and it's kind of hard to talk about how often this would come up if you're playing a danger-heavy list, is that this turns like a couple of dangers plus Quick Fix into combo. And that was always the case before. You could normal summon Quick Fix, go into Link Rebo, stash the Big Red, set it face down, and then like activate a couple of dangers. If you have 2 dangers, you're always going to get 2 bodies on the field, right? So what ends up happening is you turn Link Rebo and 2 dangers into a Curious. Curious sends your Master Plan, and then you Big Red, Master Plan. There's your combo. What Knightmare Goblin enables is that in that same scenario where you turn Quick Fix into Link Rebo and set your Big Red so you don't discard it, you can turn those 2 dangers into Knightmare Goblin, and then you can Big Red back Quick Fix to search Drone, and then normal summon Drone into the Goblin zone, and then you're summoning Master Plan from deck with double Helix instead. And that means you're not wasting your Curious, which means you still get your primary payoff, in this case Secret Village, and you still, like, and you play around Bestials and DD Crows and such, which are going to be way more popular in the future, especially with Orcus seeing a lot more play, because you're summoning Master Plan directly from the deck. So at minimum, you're still going to get your Sleeper and your Appaloosa and all that, even through like really good hand traps against this specific deck. Also, you can play Call By and maybe Cross Out. I'm kind of torn on playing Cross Out. And all these good spell cards and stuff. You don't actually have to play Small Worlds even, but I like Small Worlds in decks like this because you get Small World for Destrudo, and that gets you to your big combo. So I think this is probably the version of the deck that benefits the most from this. That or like a Spyral Orcust variant. So I don't have any Orcusts here, but it's pretty easy to imagine just throwing in like a Galatea, and then Knightmare Mermaid, which is the other. If you're running Knightmare Mermaid, if you're running the Crescendo build, you don't actually have any room for Tri-Gate Wizard, which is fine because this is your Omni Negate, and it's a better Omni Negate because it's not weak to Kaijus and it plays around droplets and stuff. Though we already have Secret Village, but you know, Omni Negate plus Secret Village plus Appaloosa just wins every game typically. That's just how it would go. So you play something like this, and you just got to play like the basic Orcust package, which is a Knightmare, Orcust, and Skeleton to summon back Galatea after you link it off. So yeah, your inboard probably looks something like, you know, Appaloosa, a Master Plan on field with Secret Village set up, and Masquerena under that to go into Little Knight, and Galatea plus Crescendo, and Sleeper. That's going to win you 95% of your games, maybe probably higher than that. I'm probably not being as honest. You might want to run like one more Nightmare, Orcust Nightmare, just in case, because you don't, you know, Galatea has to have like a card to summon, or a Nightmare Mermaid has to have a card to summon to do. But I guess, I mean, if you have another Nightmare, you just summon, you just send this guy, you just send Heart Pourer, then special Symbol Skeleton, and that makes Galatea with anything, right? 2 effect monsters. Yeah, so you can probably get away with just one Nightmare, Orcust Nightmare. And yeah, that's just a basic build, and you could even run Dingirsu here, just as like a way to make that Galatea do something going second. But this is actually not necessary because we're not doing Babel stuff. And yeah, that's just like 2 versions of the deck that are made better with Knightmare Goblin that I could think of off the top of my head. Danger variants including Orcust and Super Heavy Samurai. If anyone else has any ideas for ways to abuse Knightmare Goblin, I'm all ears. Please put them in the comments. I will experiment. Chances are, come next week, which is today's Friday as I'm recording this and probably uploading it. So like come next Monday, I might actually play again and start trying to test out Knightmare Goblin stuff, because my honest opinion of this card is that I think it's super powerful, but it just needs the right situation. Because originally it worked with Goki and Gumblar, and that was like broken inherently, and that was like relying on pre-errata Firewall to be super broken. And this card basically got banned within 3 months of releasing, so people really never got to experiment with it because it was broken once. I think it's probably still a little broken, but we just gotta find the thing that breaks it. And I don't want that thing to be like, make Gallant Granite, search Pachycephalo, normal summon Pachycephalo to the Nightmare Goblin zone. You could do that already with other nonsense. I want this to like be kind of like uniquely good for some reason. So yeah, that's it everyone. Thanks for watching and have a good one. See you soon.